I'm Dr Bruce Hadden, class of 1955, and I'm here to do an interview with the Headmaster's Heritage Committee. We had a row of prefects up Mountain Road towards Clyde Road, which were for the overflow. But the main board up there on the stage, exactly the same.
Still a very traditional school.
Yes. Headmaster in my day was Henry Cooper, who was later knighted. I'm seeing his next to Sir John Graham there. G.T. Lee, with the glasses, he was a music teacher, and there's Sir Henry Cooper, who was the headmaster in my day. And
what were they like, sir?
He was pretty scary. Yes. And then Colin Nichols was the other maths teacher who I just can't pick out at the moment, but he was here for a long time. He was there he is up there, C.N. Nichols. I remember many of the other names, but not people who taught me.
This is our head lawyer,
Right.
Yeah.
So is he a sportsman?
Yeah, first being Headmaster.
Right.
7C.
Right.
So today we're here with Dr. Bruce Hadden, class of 1955, and thank you for being here. So what were some of your first memories here at Auckland Grammar School?
My parents wanted me to go to St Kentigern College, and I said to them I wouldn't know anyone there. All my friends from Normal Intermediate are coming to Auckland Grammar. So I got my way and I came to Grammar, and we had that daunting exam on the first day in English and arithmetic, and we were all put into different classes, never saw my friends again. So much for my reason for coming to Auckland Grammar. When I came in to see the Great Hall, all the boys, the masters in their gowns and jackets and ties, I thought, this is a disciplined place, it's a traditional place, and when I'd done that exam, it's a competitive place too.
And so can you describe the ambience of the school when you were in third form in 1955?
Well, it was, as I said, a place of tradition. It's a place you were proud to be in. It is a place that fostered good behaviour, manners, had to wear our socks up, had our caps on, respect for elders. We would never dream of speaking in any way other than respectfully to our teachers. Those are my memories.
Yep. And so are there any values you admire that grammar has taught you?
Oh yes, the ones that we have just mentioned. But I think a major one is it's a competitive environment, but not in any threatening way. For example, I was not in the A stream, I was in the B stream by and large, and I know that people who were, say, in the F stream or G, they did not feel inadequate. They had good teachers. They were they felt as if they needed to do their best in their class, and they weren't comparing themselves, and no one else was comparing them with the people in the A class. So it was healthy competition, and it brought out each pupil's best.
And so were there any factors like teachers or subject choice that helped manage your way into the field of ophthalmology?
It was a tortuous field. I suppose some teachers inspire you, and I can think of two. both maths teachers, one called Peter Steen, who taught here for 50 years. He started teaching at the school the year after he left school when he got a university scholarship. And the other one was Colin Nichols, also a maths teacher. I think he was here for 50 years too. Those are teachers I remember, and I suppose for that reason maths was really my favourite subject because of the good teachers. But then I mustn't forget that my worst subject was English. And I had a teacher called Alan McRae. I never knew his name was Alan because we never even thought of their first names in my day. But Alan McRae, his nickname was Serrano because he had a long nose. And he was quite free with the cane. But my word, he taught in a way that made you remember. And I still value some of his hints as to how to write English.
And so, as a pioneer of virtuous surgery and ophthalmology, what were some challenges that you had faced when introducing it to a relatively small country such as ours?
Well, when I finally got into ophthalmology, I did 3 years here as a junior doctor at the Auckland Hospital, and we could see that developments in the United States in the field of surgically treating retinal detachment. Retinal detachment is a common cause of an eye going blind, and since the 1930s there was surgery available to treat it, but the surgery was successful in only 50-60% of people. And you could see that these developments of doing surgery on the vitreous of the eye, which is a clear jelly in the back 2/3 of the eye, was going to lead to improvements in the outcome. And this surgery was being done in a centre in the United States, Miami of all places, a place called the Bascom Palmer Eye Institute. And I was in, let's say, the right place at the right time, and my seniors here put in a good word for me, and I got a job there for 2 years. Well, initially for 1 year, and then I was taken on for a second year. So I don't take any credit for developing the new procedure, but I was the first to bring it back to New Zealand. And nowadays, it has, since I retired, it has been further and further refined. So now a person with an eye with a detached retina can have a 98% chance of having their vision restored, or most of their vision restored. So it has been a major improvement in eye surgery, and it's one example of how the specialty has moved on. And other specialties have moved on too in a similar way. For example, you think immediately, let's think of orthopedics, joint replacements, people getting a new knee or a new hip. That was in its infancy in my junior days.
Okay. And while forming the Royal Australian and New Zealand College of Ophthalmologists, what were your aspirations for this group to bring out?
Well, that's interesting. Every specialty has a society or some college, and so it's basically an educational body. So the Ophthalmological, dreadful word, Society of New Zealand was an educational body. So it would have an annual conference. Most people would present some difficult cases or present something they were interested in, and then the society would invite overseas experts to come and talk or even to demonstrate surgery in the odd case. And so they're educational societies, but they are ophthalmological society with only about back in those days, only about 25 ophthalmologists in the country. It wasn't nearly big enough to have its own training structure, examinations, and granting some qualification that had global recognition. So Australia had a college, much bigger of course, and they were embarking on developing their own training examination system for people aspiring to be eye surgeons or ophthalmologists. And so it seemed logical that we should combine with the Australian college, so that New Zealanders could do some basic training in New Zealand, take some examinations, get some recognition, and then go overseas for some more advanced training in some particular area. Although the eye is quite small, there are people who specialise in retinal detachment surgery that we've mentioned, other people who specialise in corneal grafts, etc. So that's why it came about. But and then to add on to that, however, what my wife Wendy and I were involved in very much was the establishment of a chair in ophthalmology at the University of Auckland, and that happened in 1999. And the foundation professor, a chap called Charles McGee, he's still there. He's been there for 24 years now, and he's been a huge success. I mean, the credit for it belongs to him. He's a very good practitioner. He is a good people person. Therefore, he's a good fundraiser, and he takes the credit for the success. I mean, if we had not have found a good foundation professor, it could have all turned to custard. But he has elevated the specialty in this country a great deal.
And so, for students who may be eager to set on medical and surgery-logical careers, what would be your best advice for them?
Do what you think you would enjoy doing. Don't do something because it might have prestige or high income potential, because if you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to have a happy life, and you're not going to do it well. If you're going to enjoy it, you're going to have a happy life, and you're much more likely to do it well.
And lastly, how does it feel to be named as one of the recipients for the Augusta Award in 2023?
Well, I was astounded that I was chosen, because I feel that it's an honour that I'm totally ill-equipped to accept, but I'm honoured to have been considered.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Philip.